Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our webinar for internationally educated engineers. Our presenter today is Vadim Nazimov. He's an internationally educated mechanical engineer. He immigrated to Manitoba from Israel in 2011. Vadim works as a senior manufacturing engineer at Comar Aerospace and Defense. He's a holder of mechanical certified technologist diploma from Certified Technicians and Technologists Association of Manitoba, and currently he's finishing his final course at the University of Manitoba in order to receive his EIT designation in Canada. So please help me welcome Vadim. And he will talk more about his exciting journey on how he got recognized as an engineer here in Manitoba. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Vadim, you can now share your slides.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Just let me see that you see my presentation and everything good, and I will start.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, all good. So I have my chat also open, so if you have any questions that you want to ask, please just type and I will try to answer. I will see them and I will answer them or during the presentation, or you will have time to chat, and we will have time to chat and discuss the question that you want to ask in the end of the presentation. So thank you, Margarita, for this introduction and for the opportunity to share my knowledge and experience with our fellow engineers. First of all, like I said, I would like to welcome everyone who's joined us today and who will see this presentation in the future. When spring, so it's very good start to our evening, and our weather outside is just perfect. So I would like to start our today's conversation from giving to all of you a big compliment. You took or will take a very brave and hard to take decision. You decided to immigrate to the new country, leaving behind years of hard work toward the engineering degree, as well as some of the probably left established workplace and career, and all of this to start your life and work in Manitoba. This step of yours is giving me the ability to understand that all of you have the right spirit, knowledge, and the skills to become successful and overcome the challenges that the immigration process carries with him. One of the challenges that each newcomer dealing when it's come, one of the challenges that each newcomer dealing with is how to find the right information that will help them to achieve their goals. In many cases, looking for the information, for the right information can take huge amount of time, and the time is a very valuable resource for all of us. When we're considering all the tasks that newcomers need to perform. So today, by sharing my experience and knowledge with you, I'll try to give you as much as possible information about the process of the recognition as an engineer in Manitoba, and to make it more clear and understandable, hopefully. So let's start. First of all, the agenda. I would like to go through our agenda through this evening, through this presentation. So the agenda for today will be first of all, I would like to give some details and my thought about why I think that you're in the right place in the right time, although sometimes it's difficult to see. We will discuss the general things about engineering in Canada, and then we will dive deeper to specific things that are related to the engineering in Manitoba. I also will briefly describe the technology certification possibility, and I think that this option might be relevant to few of you in some point in your professional life. Then we will go through specific steps that you will that you will require to take in order to become an engineer in Manitoba in Canada. I also will mention several resources that are available to you and can make a big difference when thinking on the professional qualification in Canada. I'll give my thought on common questions that many professionals have and usually ask them from the fellow engineers that already here in Canada and did the process. And I will, like we said before, I also will try to answer the question that you will have. So let's start. First of all, Winnipeg. We in Winnipeg, or somebody will roughly to Winnipeg in the future, and some of you will choose the Winnipeg in your current or maybe some of you in the future home. In my opinion, you did the right decision and you are in the right place and at the right time. Although the economic situation in Canada is not great currently, as you know, and several sectors struggles a lot with the layoffs and a lot of people in Manitoba, but Manitoba in general and Winnipeg in particular is actually performing well. And this is because we have the competitive advantage. As you might know, the definition used to describe the unique advantage that firms have among others and will help them to survive and perform well during long period of time. I think this definition of the competitive advantage is relevant when we're speaking the companies, about the companies, provinces, states, and people as well, and not only about the economical side. So what the competitive advantage of the Winnipeg and Manitoba, and why I think that we're in the right place and in the right time? The biggest advantage is the diversity that we have in our province. We're not locked on one or two major sectors, and we have businesses in variety of the sectors that contribute to overall performance and success of the province. As you might know, we have various the aerospace companies in the provinces like Boeing, Standard Aero, and Magellan, Cormer, and a few smaller ones as well. We have the leading bus manufacturing companies here in Manitoba, Motor Coach and the New Flyer that actually become one company just several weeks or months ago. A New Flyer bought the Motor Coach. The agriculture is a big part in our province as well. From the smaller companies that provide the agriculture sector with various solutions, to leading manufacturing of the farm equipment like Bühler or McDowell. And this is huge players in all North America and all over the world. We have mining sector as well and the energy sector as well too. We have a little bit of oil and the mining of the different metals. Our province has the expertise in hydropower generation that allow us to produce, sell, and design the best-in-class hydro plants around the world. We have also several firms that are working in this area as well. So I think really that you're in the right place, in the right time, and the province is growing, and this province will need more professionals like you. So I'm pretty much confident that each professional that's coming to Manitoba will be able to find the job, the right job in the right profession in the right company in a very short period of time. As you can see, several details about the performance of Manitoba on this side as well. The unemployment rate is also very low, and the GDP growing, and will be the. So the engineering in Canada. Let's talk about the engineering in Canada. Engineering profession is the regulated profession in Canada. Each province has governing body that responds for the accreditation, the regulation, and creation of the relevant laws and procedures. Moreover, as you might know, the engineering is also self-regulated body, and we are creating rules to ourselves. The rules, of course, are the engineering standards. Only 3 professions are self-regulated in Canada: the engineering, health, and law. Only engineers create laws and standards for themselves and the procedures and the products, and the rest of the people or companies, they're using these procedures when they produce products that comply with the standards. Same with doctors and lawyers. This fact is very important, and it's important because each mistake of these 3 professions has the direct implication of people of life and the quality of life. If an engineer, just for example, will make a mistake and the bridge will collapse, or some feature in the car or another machine will not be working, this can affect safety and cause harm to operator and end user. And we know that many cases, unfortunately, it happens. So same with lawyer, judge, or doctor. If they will make a mistake, the innocent person can go to jail or die if a doctor make a mistake, for example. Because of all these factors, we need to ensure that only licenses and qualified personnel will be working in this field. And this is why the profession is regulated profession in Canada. So the question is that many people and many newcomers that coming here asking themselves, if I already have the engineering degree from my back home, can I work as an engineer or call myself as the engineer? The answer is no, you can't. You must be a licensed engineer, first of all. But there is a huge but. You can perform the engineering tasks and work in position of the engineer, but the certified engineer must take responsibility of your work. As we know, and this is the current situation in Canada, that many companies don't have a licensed engineer in every position. Therefore, it will be up to the company to decide if you can sign the documentation or take the responsibility. The real issue might arise when, for example, you will want to offer your engineering skills as a contractor or open your own engineering company, for example. And of course, in this condition, to do this kind of job or business and sign the documentation and approvals, you will need to be a licensed engineer. You will not be able to perform this task according to Canadian law. And it's make perfect sense for me. All these details also, these details actually answer to the question if you can work as an engineer right away. Like I said, you can start in engineering position, but you will be not qualified as an engineer according to Canadian law. And officially, you can't sign the documentation and take responsibility. Only licensed engineer can take this responsibility for you. So, how to become an engineer? Of course, each one of us asking this question when we immigrate, when we're thinking about immigration, and this is a very big portion of our decision, what we will do when we will immigrate and how we'll become and how we'll have the engineering the degree. And of course, we engineers, we want to work in this field, and we chose this profession because we love what we do, and we want to continue to do what we love. So I would like to take to the process of the how to become the engineer in Canada and the accreditation process. As we discussed, when new professional immigrant arrives to Canada, he or she can't call them an engineer the right away and must start the recognition process. Sorry. One of the first questions that each one probably want to ask is how my education will compare to Canadian education. How I can be qualified in Canada. There are several details how you can know. First, the Washington Accord. This is a 6 regional countries that did the agreement and work together to ensure that their education system are compatible. It has to be with the language, how the engineering material is covered in the university, and of course the actual material as well. So, for example, if you immigrated from these 6 countries, Australia, Ireland, New Zealand, England, or USA, there is a big chance that when you will submit your documentation, you will be not assigned to do any tests or courses. You will just need to submit the application to APEGM with all the paperwork. They will validate and assess, and you will probably receive the IT designation in Manitoba. But we need to remember one thing. The final decision is, of course, a decision of APEGM Accreditation Board. All the final decision is up to APEGM to decide and give the exact answer, not matter from which kind of country you're coming to Canada. Currently, Washington Accord includes 17 accredited members, and they are working together to verify the quality of the learning materials between the universities, and these 70 countries work together to make the program more comparable. And I think this is very good news for newcomers because they will be able to receive more credits and less examination in the future because the program will be more similar and will have more similarity among all the countries. And of course, the process will be much faster as well. And this is very good as well. But only APEGM in our provinces will be at the Accreditation Institute all the time, and this is his final decision. Only APEGM can decide to give these decisions. I read several articles on the internet, and some of my fellow engineers and newcomers they asked me several questions about the possibility to use ICAS. And ICAS, this is the International Credential Assessment Service in Canada. The evaluation service, like before the submitting the documentation to APEGM. And I want to give my thought about this. ICAS, the ICAS also offer to evaluate and assess your engineering professional, the education, how to exactly compare it to Canadian education. This is private but long-lasting agency, and they're doing good work in helping people to better understand their education comparable to Canadian in fields where they can work, of course, and that will need, and the courses that they might need to take. My personal opinion on this, that in case of engineering, is not really relevant at all. And for the engineers and technologists, and this is my opinion, should not spend their time and money. And the reason is very simple. Engineering is a regulated profession in Canada, and only a professional engineering association can give you an answer about if you qualified or if not. And if not, what you need to do and how many how many exams you need to take. Therefore, my advice to everybody is go right away to the APEGM in Manitoba or to APEGM, in our case in Manitoba, directly to submit the documentation and do assessment through them right away. This is my opinion. I have a couple of questions. I see this in the chat. I will answer. If I have read my diplomas by World Education Services, can I use it instead of ICAS? Like I said, in my opinion, we need to go directly to APEGM because APEGM will review all the documentation once again. They have their accreditation board and they will review all the documentation and will give you an answer. So in my opinion, we should use right away APEGM. Let's go next. I would like to take a minute and to speak about spend a couple of minutes to speak about technology diploma as well. I think this might be useful to some people in the future or currently. And why I think so, I will explain right now. So, first of all, you can receive, if you're an engineer, you can receive a CAT diploma as well, based on your engineering degree from back home. The process might be a little bit easier and faster than APEGM. The benefits are possibility to have Canadian certificate while working in engineering position. The downsides of this is, of course, that you're not in engineering position. The position is like it's a little bit lower. But there is several very huge benefit to this as well. Many companies, and for example, the government agencies want to have the technologies and the salaries are decent as well. And it's very difficult to find any government or city-related job if you don't have any Canadian credential. And I'm speaking only about the engineering roles, of course. So it might be useful to some people that was lucky to find the job right away in engineering-related field and don't have the time and the resources to allocate them to study for a T designation right away. So they can take this option as well. In my opinion, it's very personal decision, and the decision will change according to specific needs and situation of the person. But for example, for me, it's worked very well. I received first CAT after 2 years in Canada, and currently I'm finishing my requirement to get an IT and professional engineer. Why? Only because family matters. I have 2 small kids, and I decided that this is what I need to do in that time. So how you can do it? If you decide you want to explore this possibility, first of all, you will need to submit all the credentials from home country to CITAM. They will review and will give you an answer if you're eligible for technologist or technician and what we need to complete the program. In most of the cases, you will need at least 2 years engineering, 2 years of the engineering, the experience, and one of them should be in Canada. Second, you will need to submit the engineering project and then to pass the CAT exam. The project you can make by yourself, directly working with CITAM, or you can take a course at Red River College, or you can also, sometimes CITAM offer one special course and you can do the project with them. What the best option? Once again, I think that this is a personal decision based on the availability and the resources and the preferences of you. If you have a project that you did before and you think it has the right technical data, you can use this and go right away and do the project directly with the CITAM. Or, for example, if you prefer a more structural approach, I recommend to do the course with CTTA. If you have an idea that you want to explore and maybe build and maybe to design, you can definitely go to Red River College and take a course there at Red River College. It might be a very good choice. So I think this option worth to be explored and thinking about this. I just wanted to mention this before we're going to exactly how to become an engineer in Canada. So, road to qualification as engineer in Manitoba. We're good in time. So, like we already mentioned several times, the engineering field is a regulated field and government body is APEGAM in Manitoba. Therefore, all the processes will be done through the APEGAM and all the decision will be made by them as well. Your first step is to complete an assessment of all your credentials from home country with APEGAM. You will need to send a syllabus in English of each one of the courses and that you took in the university, for example, and also the final project. Final project don't need to be transformed to English. It might be in your back home language, as well as your final marks, of course. The final marks need to be sent directly from your home country institute, if it's university or else or college, directly to APEGAM, and they will require this. Therefore, I recommend to work on this and prepare all the relevant documentation when you're still in your home country. But if you're already in Canada, just use your contact back home and try to bring all the requirement documentation and all of them in English, of course. Next step, the APEGAM will review all the documentation and will let you know how many mandatory exams you've been assigned or you will need to pass an interview. One important thing that you need to remember is that after the assessment, you have limited time to finish all the tests. A rule of thumb, it's 6 months per one exam. So for example, if you assign 3 exams, in most of the cases you will have between 1.5 to 2 years to finish your exams. Therefore, before starting the process, you will need to think about what exactly you want to do during first years when you arrive to Winnipeg. This is my opinion. And if you need to improve your English and your family matters as well. APEGAM has the English requirements, therefore you might need some time to improve your English as well. Or if you, for example, have different plans because of the family matters, kids, small kids, or whatever, you need to think when to start this process. This is a very personal decision, and I suggest spending time thinking properly about when to start this. I also will mention this once again when I will speak about the possibility of receiving the education help and financial help from Manitoba government. Of course, you will need to pay tuition fee as usual, submit the paperwork and wait for your assessment. After you will receive back your assessment, you will know exactly how many courses you have been assigned and the time frame that you need to complete the assessment. From this moment, you have several options. All these options will also find in the document that you will receive from APEGAM. So, the options. After you was assigned numbers of the mandatory assignment, the exams by APEGAM, the first one that I want to mention is the option with the interview option. This option, as far as my knowledge and from my experience, is rare and assigned only to people with very, very long engineering experience. You will be asked to come and speak in front of the engineering committee about engineering experience, as well as you might be given a specific topic to discuss as well. I know only one person that was given this option, so as far from my experience, it is not the common practice at all. But it's really personal. And a second option is the exam option. First of all, you can challenge the exams on specific topics that were assigned by Pega. You will be given the topic, the covered materials, and the material for this exam, books, and the time the exam will be held. You will need to study, practice, and then to complete the written test in the day that exam will be held. This is the second option. One of the new option for Manitoba that was revealed only just 6 months ago or 8 months ago, this is the option that you can take one exam, the fundamentals of and the name of this exam is the fundamentals of the engineering exam option. This one exam, multiple choices that covered most of the topics related to the engineering in your field. The exams usually last around six hours, and you will need to pass the exams successfully, of course. I will give a link to the website on the exam, but there are plenty of materials online and in YouTube with information about this exam. You can just Google it and you will find really a lot of material. And it's new option, like I said. In my opinion, it's really good option to the people that want to finish the requirement as soon as possible. Although the exam is not easy, and you definitely need to study. The advantage is that you have a lot of materials available online. So, new option, only 6 months. Like I think that everybody should explore and think about this option as well before they decide about the options. Additional options is the third options. It's to take the relevant courses from your web directly and to pass them. Basically, what this does, you will need to have. First of all, you will need to have the appropriate level of English, like in order to enroll to the university and take regular courses according to the list that was given to you by Pega. On the list, you will have the assignment exams to you and relevant courses in the university that you need to take. On same list, you will have the current courses in the university. Please be advised that the several exams might require more than one course. Just an example, it's structural material 1 and 2 or heat transfer 1 and 2. So you will assign one exam of heat transfer, but when you're going to university, it's actually 2 different courses. So you will need to pass both of them, like in order to complete this one. Additional possibility is to take the IQ program. I'm just finishing this program right away. I'm still waiting for my final mark of my final course. And personal experience from somebody that just finishing this, I can definitely recommend this program. The process, you will need to submit the request to enroll to the program, ensuring that you have the appropriate level of English and less than 5 exams assigned to you. If you will be approved, you will go through the program and take necessary courses in the University of Manitoba. Several key points of this program program that I want to mention, like I said, in my opinion, it's a very, very good program to new professional engineers. First of all, you have a team of the excellent people that helping you and advising you and guiding you through the program and can advise you at any given moment. And it's very important to newcomers. Furthermore, you receive training, knowledge about Canadian work environment, resume writing, as well as you will be trained for work interviews. All this during this program. The knowledge will help you in the future to better adjust yourself to Canadian workplace, as well as you have the access to all available the resources at the university as well. Moreover, you will have opportunity to be hired through the co-op and gain your Canadian experience. For somebody that don't have Canadian experience, it might be very, very good option. And of course, this co-op position for 4 months might lead you to permanent position in this company. Personal experience, although I had already almost 2 years of Canadian experience before going to this program, I learned a lot about how to present myself, how to better interact in the workplace, what the true meaning of the engineer in Canada, and I also gained a lot of the experience in the interaction with different people, English, and also made very good connections. So I definitely highly recommend this program for all the participants that might think and have the time for this. And because the time, of course, is consideration because it's full-time program. Okay, so after you will complete the requirements of the exam, the next step is to do the next step is to start the way toward your professional degree designation. First of all, you will need to pass the ABC exam, ABC test. The ABC test is the mandatory requirement for all IAT members. So before you will become the IAT member, you will need to pass this exam. The exam requires knowledge and understanding of the engineering code of ethics. Yeah, you might ask, somebody want to talk, so just ask, I will see this. So the ABC exam, it requires knowledge from the engineering code of ethics, as well as bylaws. All the materials are available on the internet, and you also doing the exam online. Rest of the process is more technical, of course. You will need to submit the application and become an IT member with a program. Then you will start your journey toward the professional engineer designation. This road is not easy, but you will be halfway through, and the difficult and stress part will be behind you at this moment. And I'm talking about the actual exams. You will need to find a workplace and be employed as an engineer, as an IT, and start to file your work and experience report each 6 months. You will need that the professional engineer will be able to sign on this report, and the meaning of this that he also or she also taking the responsibility for your work. For foreign engineers, there is a possibility that your experience from back home will be recognized as well. More like it will be up to 3 years, because you will still need 1 year in Canada as well. Then you will need to volunteer as well during these periods. The final step is to pass the professional exam. This federal exam that all engineers must to pass before they become professional engineers. As you can see from the described process, the path is not easy and definitely challenging. Although it's definitely durable, and I'm confident that all of you will be able to do this. Generally, it was the short summary of the road, how to become an engineer in Canada. I also would like, in the end of my presentation, I would like to speak a little bit about the resources that are available to the PAGAM, and if you need any information where you can find. So Manitoba really a really unique place, and it has a lot of resources online and different government agencies that can assist you and help you through your challenging process. And it's very huge help. And speaking about myself, it's helped me a lot. I met a lot of people that helped me, and it was great. And I met, like I told, wonderful people through my journey to become an engineer and in the future. And I'm confident that you will also meet this kind of people that will help you through your process. Manitoba is friendly Manitoba, you know. So first of all, a PAGAM website. It's really worth spending time and explore the PAGAM website. It has plenty of materials, like about the information that we just discussed, about the qualification process, about the requirements. It has everything over there, job possibilities, education, and plenty more. So it's worth to spend time and going through this website. University of Manitoba, the website, also the information that they offer and the courses and how to apply and the registration process. You can find everything online, and it has plenty of materials, and it's very understandable. Just go there and look through the information that you need. The IQ program, it has their unique website. Also, one of the things that YIQ program is very good because it has dedicated people over there that you actually can call or send email, and they will give you full answer on each one of the questions. So by going to this website, you will find the connect numbers, and you will be able to send your question about any type of question about your engineering or how to qualify it. For example, if you want to ask more detail or more personal question, it's a really good way to figure out the information. Employment Manitoba the Employment Manitoba can provide you with the information about possible the economical help for you. You can be qualified to get an assistance into tuition pay, as well as if you're currently working and you will enroll in full-time study program, you might be eligible to receive EI benefits as well during the studies, and help with tuition and books. And of course, this is huge help and game changer for many people. For example, myself, this is the help that they provided to me really was the game changer, because once again, new immigrants sometimes with small kids and young families, it's very challenging, you know. So the help that you can receive from Manitoba government, it's also very helpful. And in my case, it was game changer. This is why I actually enrolled in this program that gave me the ability. Like I told, for families with small children, it's really can help. Speaking of financial help, there are grants available for the professional as well as bursaries for IQ program participants that can help you go through the program and through the time that you're studying. And on the screen, you can see all these websites and and links, and you can take time and explore them and go to this and just go to this website and find the information that you need. Also, like I said before, I don't mind that you will contact me through my emails as well. You can contact me with any question, and I will try to do my best to answer, to give you information and also the answers. You have, in the end, we have still a couple minutes before because I want to leave some time to question as well. So this is my last, almost last. Yeah. So the common question, you know, everybody asking same questions sometimes. So I decided to go quickly these questions. First question: when the best time to start the qualification process? After the assessment, the assessment and exam assigned by PEGAM, you will need you will be given time to complete the requirements. Generally, like I said, 6 months per one exam. Therefore, before starting the process, I think you need to think what are your plans to do next, or you're planning to study, for example, English, or go to work, or you might have different family constraints. So I recommend starting this process when you know you're ready for this challenge and you can put time and effort in this challenge. Second question: what the titles of position should I look for during my job search? One of the things that I can recommend to do is to start your research as soon as possible for the future possibility of the purpose. This will help to identify the possible companies in your area of the expertise and target the companies and the position that you are interested in. The definitions are the duties of each one of the profession you can find using specific NOC numbers. You can see this. I included the link. You also can use this information from these NOC numbers to write your resume as well. Do I need to be permanent resident in order to apply to PEGAM? No, you can start your process while not in Canada. If I have difficulty to obtain my syllabus in English from back home, what I should do? If you have difficulty to obtain your syllabus, the best things to do is to try to write by yourself the topics in English that you covered during the courses and work with assessment officer from PEGAM to find the solutions. 5. What is acceptable work experience? You can find all the information on the PEGAM website and the descriptions with examples of previous report. But if you work in engineering position in your back home, did the applicable engineering calculation, and you will be able to show this and explain this is exactly what I'm looking for. If I work in different area from my degree, can it be counted as work experience? I'm telling you, for example, if you finish engineering degree and you worked during this time not as an engineer. As far as I know, this is my opinion, this is what was my knowledge. Only relevant engineering experience can be counted toward the past experience. And this is actually makes sense, of course. So this is short, and we go to the end. And just a couple of quotes that I want to give you. You know, just really several quotes that sometimes when it's challenging time and you thinking about the process and why you're doing this, and it's hard, and it's because the immigration process is not easy at all. So couple of quotes: never give up. Challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. I think this is a great quote, because without challenging, it's just not interesting. This is what we're doing, and we engineers, and not only engineers, we love these challenges. This is one of the things that we're doing each day. You know, engineering is first of all about solving the problems. Each day you come to work and you start to solve the problem. So this is new challenge. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, and I think all of you already did these steps, so you're already ahead. Well done. And the last one, don't worry about failures, worry about the changes you miss when you don't even try. Failures is part of our life, and we need to take these failures and learn from them and see this as really lessons and extract the information and try next time do better. But failure it's part of normal process. I think that's it. Thank you very much. If you have any question, I will definitely try to ask to answer.
Thank you, Vadim, for your presentation. Thank you for sharing your resources and your experience and your knowledge on this topic. Please, if you have any questions, so feel free to unmute yourself and address those questions to Vadim, and he will answer them, okay? If you have difficulties unmuting yourself, just let me know in the chat box and I will help you.
Yeah, I have my chat box open, so I will see.
Yes, how are you? Thank you.
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, okay. So it was a wonderful presentation. That's so great. And your quote is very good. I never give up. And one more thing, we are living as a, if you were live to die tomorrow, and we are letting us, we are going to live forever. This is the engineer's duty, right? We have to live us. Okay. But I liked you mentioned about Apegum a lot, and they are doing extraordinary work. But whoever in Winnipeg, they can take that more advantage of Apegum. I am living in Dauphin. It is around 400 kilometers. They asked me to send me all the documents. I sent many times. They did not give me any reply. Either my qualification is good or bad, or they receive it or not. I couldn't get through. So I went to here in Manitoba, the training and employment service. So they contacted them, and they told the Manitoba Training and Employment Service, my qualification and my skills are countable as an engineer, but I should have 6 month boiler training. So later, when I spoke to them, they told me, at least you must have 3 months boiler training. So they told me to go to Manitoba apprenticeship to help me to get the training or experience according to the Canadian standard. So when I went to apprenticeship program, they told me, if you can find any employer, we are ready to register you. Otherwise, it is not possible. So this kind of the triangle, the Trinity, they are pointing me to go to somewhere else, and these people are asking me to go somewhere else, and I never ever heard about it. Why are they doing like that? What is the solution for that?
Just a question. Can you just let me know your engineering degree or your background?
Yes, I am an electronics engineer, bachelor electronics engineering degree I had it. And along with that, I did a lot of IT services, and I am having a lot of technical skills and generic skills, so whatever occupationally adaptability skills, everything. And
yeah. Think about this. Sorry,
okay.
I think I understood you, and I will give you my opinion on that. you need to divide between two things: apprenticeship, the let's say Red Seal mill router, that you will be able to perform and work with your hand and do some maintenance, do some work as technician, technologist, or just apprenticeship. Just for example, Red Seal. This is different from a PEGA. If you're going, and if you're going to qualification as the engineer, it's different way, it's different path, it's only a PEGA. So you told me that you have some difficulties to obtain the information. So you should try to contact them as, first of all, just call them. Just call them, try to make the appointment. Because if the email is not working, try to call them directly. I know that the assessment officer, her name is the assessment officer is the officer right now is not in the PEGAM, the regular one. She's on maternity leave, I'm thinking, but there is some different woman that I don't really know her personally, but there is one person that's working on the assessment. So they have dedicated person that should take this documentation and do the assessment and help you. So you can definitely, I recommend that you will call them directly and we'll try to speak with them. And if you want to start your recognition process, you will just need to go through steps that we discuss to file the report and start the application process. But if you want really the answer and speak with somebody over there, you need to try to call them if the email is not working.
I appreciate that your suggestion, but I tried many times to call them. Always it is going to the secretary and she is transferring the call. It is going to the voicemail most of the time. Whenever I am asking them.
Do you remember the name? Do you remember the name?
No, they are not giving any name, and I am not remembering because every time they are transferring the call to different person.
You know what? Send me an email. You have my email information. I will give you the contact number of persons that you will need to contact. I will figure out who right now the person that's working on the assessment. I will send you back this information, and I think it will help you. Hopefully.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate if you can put your email ID in our chat.
It was on the first. On my first slide.
Slide itself, okay.
Yeah, I can take it back. You can see this. It's just my last and first name together. So.
Okay, these slides we will share them on their website, so you will have access to them.
Okay, I have that. Already I copied.
Okay, thank you, Vadim, for addressing Joy's question. We have another question in the chat box, and we will have another question from Arsen. I will unmute him after you address.
I'm sorry, I don't see the chat box.
Okay, the question is, IEEQ is a full-time program. How can you earn money while you are in the program to support family daily needs?
Okay, like I mentioned, you can be qualified to, yes, it's full-time program, and you're right. It's very difficult to work through when you're studying, and definitely when you're just starting this program and you have, for example, four courses or 3 courses, it's very difficult and it's very challenging. It's English, it's also the new environment, and it's it's very hard and work. So definitely the work after this, it might be very, very big challenge. So how you can, there is a Manitoba government can provide you with help if you will be qualified. What you need to do, you will need to go and book the appointment with Employment of Manitoba. They have different people that working and helping to different like people, you and me, and you will be able to speak. You will be able to present your case while you want to go to the the IQ program. You will need to provide documentation. You also will need to provide that the IQ program actually accept you, and then you will be able you might able to be qualified for additional help in tuition in living expectations, and also if you're working, you might be also eligible for AI. But all this need to be done through the Employment Manitoba and Labor.
Okay, thank you, Vadim.
And it's actually decent help. It's not, it's not a couple $100. It's actually very good help. So you can't really. It will help you to live. Decent help.
Okay, thanks. And we have one more question from our participant. I'm unmuting him. Okay, Arsen, you're welcome.
Hello. First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much to Vadim for that awesome presentation, and I have few questions. First of all, how long it takes to registration with CTT-IM?
How long the actual process?
The process.
You just submit your documentation. It's take months or two. They will give you back the answers, what you need to do. And if, for example, you have the bachelor degree in engineering, for example, and they will assess you that, okay, you will be able to qualify for the technologist, you will need first of all, you will need 2 years of experience. 1 year you can take from your back home, but 1 year you will still need to have some sort of engineering work experience here in Canada as well. During this year, you also can submit your project for the requirement. So I think you can finish and like finish this program and get the CAT designation, I think about 1.5 years. This is approximately the time. So it's 18 months, I will say. If you're working and you have the engineering position, or not engineering, it's more technologist position. It's not that you need to work as an engineer or something like that. It's just more technologist position.
Okay. Next question is, in your opinion, what is the best resource to looking for job in engineering field, or it's, I don't know, technician position?
First of all, the regular ones that you have various websites. First of all, going through this website. Second, it's going to each one of the company's website and look there. Third, and maybe this is the fourth one, the networking.
Yeah, I have tried 2 first ways, but it still doesn't work.
Networking. First of all, you need to target exactly which kind of companies you want to work. Then I can recommend you that you will start to figure out and meet the people that are working there and to present yourself to these people. You can do this through LinkedIn. You can also try to find various meetings or various meetings and go to these meetings. In some cases, it's the University of Manitoba has various meetings through the year for different various of groups, you know, if it's mechanical engineering, if it's electrical engineering, they have a lot of different events. So going to actual engineering event, it's also might be helpful, and most of them are free and you can access them. Like in some cases, you will need to send email asking that, okay, I want to join and participate in this event. But in most of the cases, you will be able to go there, and going there and try to figure out, try to present yourself. I know that the University of Manitoba, once in a year, they have a career fair for newcomers, for the engineering for the professional newcomers. It's not only for the engineers, but it's also for professional. I'm not sure when exactly it's held, but I know that the University of the Manitoba have this event once in a year as well. So
this is very
definitely network, trying to present yourself, trying to build your LinkedIn profile, find the people that are working in this area, trying to connect with them, trying to know friends, family, like everybody.
And the last questions, is it possible to book appointment with you?
Yes, of course.
Okay, I will contact by email.
No problem.
Sure. Thank you very much. That's good.
Okay, thank you, Vadim, for addressing this question too. We had another question in the chat box about looking for employment opportunities, but I think you have just addressed that issue. So we are running out of time. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening, and thank you, Vadim, for sharing your experience and sharing your expertise in this aspect. And if anyone,
sorry, it's live.
Oh,
sorry guys, it's live event.
Yeah, thank you for your time, for spending this hour with us. If anyone has more questions, you can forward them to me, or you can contact Vadim directly if he's okay with that. Vadim's slides will be available on our website, so you will have access to all those links and resources that he has shared with us. So I hope you found this presentation useful, and you will move forward towards your career goals. Okay. I hope Vadim will be able to help you if you decide to contact him. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, guys, and good luck to everybody.
Thank you.